Rappers and music producers, it's Curtis King at CurtisKingBeats.com, back with another episode of Guerilla Marketing 911. Let's talk about it. Rappers and music producers, we are back with another episode of Guerilla Marketing 911. These are ideas that have been floating in my head, inexpensive ways for you to promote your music, whether you have a small fan base, a middle fan base, or a kind of a large fan base. These are ways that you can either spike up the interest of people who don't know who you are for very little budget, or ways that you really can just put yourself outside of the box and promote your music in a way that I guarantee you most of your peers are not promoting their music. The idea that I have today, album reviews. What are the power of album reviews? Well, let's talk about it. A lot of rappers and music producers, especially in this day and age where you don't have to be a somebody to give an opinion about something and to have people actually say, you know what, I kind of agree with that. It doesn't matter. You don't even have to have a verification badge on your Twitter. People are listening and be like, you know what, I kind of feel the same way about that Meek Mill album. That's dope. Let me follow this person. Being that we're living in a time and place where people have opinions running left and right and they're actually being supported by strangers, you are wasting your time leaving your opinions on the music video itself, leaving your opinions just within comments on Twitter or Instagram. You're wasting your time. You should be making album reviews. What are the benefits of making album reviews? Well, when you're making album reviews, I'll give you an example. There's a person that does great, amazing album reviews that I definitely suggest you go check him out, whether you like his opinion or not. Anthony Fantano. He gives great reviews because, one, as he's explaining what he feels about this album, it's just an opinion, how he feels, he's showing you how much detail goes into his listening ear. He's showing you also too his musical IQ, and it makes you say, man, have you ever worked on music? And if you have, where can I find this music? Because you seem to know your stuff. This is what the benefit is, especially for a rapper and or a music producer, to start making visual album reviews, sitting there right there in front of the album. Matter of fact, I won't even say that because some personality types that watch me do not like being in front of the camera. I'll give you an out. How about you just literally do it DJ Academic style?
Check it out now. So sorry for the lack of videos recently.
Have the album cover up there and just talk about the details of the album that you like. Make sure that you're putting the name of the artist, the name of the album, and also too putting album review. And then here's how you're going to use this as a promotional tool. As you're talking about this artist, and say if you're a rapper, right? Say you say, I like the part where he said yada 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 yada. The people who are watching are saying, man, you kind of rap that kind of dope. So you're actually auditioning your skill set by displaying and highlighting someone else's skill set. Another thing that you're doing when you're promoting, you could use your music in the background. This definitely applies to music producers because obviously with rappers it's going to be a little bit more difficult to play your music talking behind your talking, but what you could do is actually create a hook that has open verses, an open intro, and then just talk through the beat as if it's an instrumental. And when the hook comes in, maybe that's a point where you do like some B-roll footage and show like the artist talking about their album on the Breakfast Club. Just ways for you to use that to your advantage. You gotta get on some album reviews. I have wanted to do album reviews in the past because I felt like this was a great way to, especially if I was strategic about what artists I was gonna do an album review of, I had to make sure that their fan base would be one that would be open to my style of music. The whole idea was for me to sort of cut in the traffic, just like a tight beats would, cut in the middle of the traffic of all these excited fans that are looking for Drake album, right? Now say I had an album out or a song that was really fitting those aesthetics of that particular Drake album. I better do a review of that. Why? Because his fans have already listened to it. Now they want to know if their feelings they have are the same feelings as everybody else. They want to see what things they missed out on. Maybe it's like a Easter egg hunt for different clues in the music. Maybe they didn't know it until they actually went to a YouTube video. What if your YouTube video is the one that they went to? What if it's a rapper that actually likes another artist and they just want to hear some feedback on why it has such a connection with the audience or has such a broad connection with a fan base and why it resonated? You may be able to learn something about that skill set to help you resonate with an audience. That is another benefit of doing album reviews. You cannot sleep on doing album reviews. You could even do 1-minute album reviews on Instagram. So in the midst of you doing your promotion and your music, of course you're gonna post your song art, or you're gonna post other pieces of promotional content, but as you do these reviews, you may find that that initially people who don't know who you are, they like to watch your reviews because they're more entertaining than, I'm sorry, a visualizer sitting on your Instagram. Maybe they're just not into that kind of thing. Maybe it just doesn't do anything for them. But if you're talking about albums and whatever kind of a way you want to go about it, if you want to be controversial, if you want to actually be someone that gives a very intellectual point of view of it, you choose that. I would have done it in a way in which I would have said, what artist has an aesthetic close to mine? We talked about that. An aesthetic close to this song. And what I would do is basically explain why I feel like it resonated with me, what I liked about the production, how the chorus resonated with me or the content resonated with me, and I would talk about that for a minute. And as you're doing this review, you're putting in hashtags that are going to, of course, that are going to, of course, bring in the audience that you're actually looking for. Drake album, say the album was views and you put views as a hashtag. I don't know, whatever it is, you gotta make sure that you're strategic about it. I'm telling you, you cannot sleep on album reviews. Once again, that was another episode of Guerilla Marketing 911. In this life, you would not be full of life until you decide to live life to its fullest. Once again, it's Curtis King, the leading voice of the online rapper and music producer community. Boy, don't at me. Peace. Please subscribe to the channel below, Curtis King, CurtisKingBeats.com.